then now go abroad and be living one kind of life.
I can relate. You do have a point.
You understand? So moving is one thing, but moving comfortably to match your current lifestyle is another thing.
I agree.
So unless it becomes essential for them to move, or does not move until if God has blessed our hustle, our struggles.
How many houses remain for you now?
How many houses remain for me?
Yes, now. How many houses remain for you?
At my young age, you're asking me how many houses remain for
You
me?
and the Oyo State government. One day in 2020, there were rumors that the
Right. You have heard that. And if you are a Kolu supporter, I don't think you should, by any means, be pretending that this is something shocking or surprising. Do you imagine what it is going to be like the day that the voice or the recorded phone conversation between, especially around this time, between Seyi Tinubu, Shade Tinubu, and some of other ones, other children of Tinubu who are also, they are already billionaires through the access to free public fund. So don't pretend. And when you look at how Nigeria is being run, right? Once you become a governor of a state, that state purse and that money, everything from that state, especially the one you know of, they will automatically become your family purse. The children will become the first daughter, first son. And in their right, they are also there scavenging, stealing, and then throwing their weight about simply because their father became the governor. So don't pretend. We know all about that. For some of us who remember Aregbe Mugbubaba Kabiru, Aregbe Mugbubaba Kabiru was the former clown governor that bankrupted a state. The first time in Nigeria history that a state will go bankrupt. And that happened to Osun State. The guy that was in charge was this clown, a criminal clown that used everything from religion to Yoruba culture and all of that to hoodwink and steal and loot the people. But if you are hearing about Aregbe Mugbubaba Kabiru, you must have been those who knows or who probably remember the time when they were swindling the people of Osun State of what they called the Okmoimo. They have no internet, no electricity. But Aregbe Mugbubaba Kabiru was there, borrowing money to go and buy tablets for all the school children in Osun State, and they called it Okmoimo. Okmoimo was given as a contract to a young Kabiru who happened to be just about 24 years old at the time. Billions of naira contracts was given to him. And what happened to Okmoimo? Because the father, who happened to be the governor, automatically made his own son a contractor supplier in a project to swindle and fleece a whole state. Don't pretend, though. And I think that's, if you are pretending, that's why you have the likes of Festus Sotobo Keyamo now doing press conference. I want me to arrest them, arrest Atiku. After arresting Atiku, arrest Escobar. Listen to their press conference. Don't think it's boring. Just listen to what he's saying and see how degenerated Nigeria has become. If the characters like this are now those who are championing, what will likely be your next, your future? Let's go back to their press conference, by the way. Otobo Keyamo, tell us more, please.
Listened to it and saw it, including the emails that preceded the call. Because what happened was that there was an allegation that time Dariye had just been jailed over this matter. And I'm sure you all know that one of the counts preferred against Governor Dariye was this 100 million. And that was why he was jailed. That was why Dariye was jailed. This 100 million. But it was the linkage to Atiku that we could not get all along, because it was pegged to marine floats. Now he provided the evidence to say that marine float was actually the cover that they used, because Dariye took money directly from the coffers of Plateau State and paid to the marine float. That was why he was jailed. That he diverted money belonging to the Plateau people. Now we know that this money actually found its way back to Atiku Abubakar and his boss. But they used people as front to siphon these monies and so many others. There were other 2 companies that he did not mention, but he mentioned Marine Float, by which they were siphoning money from the public coffers. Now, gentlemen, possible infractions of the law. From the oral account of the whistleblower, the voice notes, and all other supporting documents, these are the possible infractions of the law Atiku Abubakar has committed, and we urge his prosecution with his duties and responsibilities. 10 says, a public officer shall not ask for or accept property or benefits of any kind for himself or any other person on account of anything done or omitted to be done by him in the discharge of his duties. 2, subsection 2 of 10, for the purposes of subsection 1 of this section, the receipt by a public officer of any gift or benefit from commercial firms, business enterprises, or persons who have contracts with government, shall be presumed to have been received in contravention of the said subsection 1 of this section, unless the contrary is proved. 13, a public officer shall not do or direct to be done in abuse of his office any act prejudicial to the rights of any other person, knowing that such act is unlawful or contrary to any government policy. Section 17, a public officer who does any act prohibited by this act through a nominee, listen very carefully, through a nominee, trustee, or other agent, shall be deemed ipso facto to have committed a breach of this act. Now, there are also offenses against the Money Laundering law here. Section 18 of the Money Laundering Prevention and Prohibition Act 2022 states as follows. Any person, subsection 2, any person or body corporate in or outside Nigeria who directly or indirectly, A, conceals or disguises the origin of, that's the concealment, through marine floats, or converts or transfers, removes from the jurisdiction, or acquires, uses, retains, or takes possession or control of any fund or property intentionally, knowingly, or reasonably ought to have known that such fund or property is or forms parts of the proceeds of an unlawful act, commits an offense of money laundering under this act. 3, there's also the possibility of offense of criminal breach of trust. Section 311 of the Penal Code reads thus: whoever being in any manner entrusted with property or with any dominion over property dishonestly misappropriates or converts to his own use that property, or dishonestly uses that, or disposes of that property in violation of any direction of law prescribing the mode in which such trust is to be discharged, or of any legal contract, express or implied, which he has made touching the discharge of such trust.
No be the same guy say won't give you hang on. I can check my camera. I think that's better. I suddenly just became so big. Is it not the same Otobo Keyamo that promised that he was going to give you 774,000 jobs in 774 local government areas? And they are going to give all of you wheelbarrows, shovel, and then a beam packer. And you are going to be collecting 30,000 naira. How many of you know that Festus Otobo Keyamo cashed out over 14 billion naira from that? Of course, they pay some people and they pack some gutters here and there. Today, majority of you who are now being counted as a jobless Nigerians under APC, from N-Power to Otobo Keyamo's what? Okay, I get that. No. Let's finish this one first. Leave that one aside. Where you are saying something about this one, continue with this one. Leave that job. We'll come back. I agree. I'll come back to that. I'm just saying that when I call them criminals, I have my evidence. I have shown this evidence. I have shown the criminals to you many times. I just don't know what else to tell you, how to make you know that you don't trust criminals. Whatever they say out of their mouth should be like, hold your peace. Do you get that now? Hold your peace, because anything you say shall be used against you in the court of law. That's what I do in the temple of truth. When they say them, they cannot unset them anymore. So why do you want to trust criminals? That's what I'm trying to figure out. This is psychological and all that. So let's ignore all of that. And then let's go back to Otobo Keyamo without having to listen to all those blah, 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 blue, okay? I said, Atiku said, in 72 hours, if Nigeria EFCC and ICPC fail to arrest Atiku, Otobo will go to court. And according to him, you remember that he happened to be the EFCC prosecutor as well. He happened to be the EFCC lawyer. When EFCC go to court, Otobo Keyamo is one of their lawyers. The scam, the fraud himself. So now, he is now coming out to say, listen, I was part of those who investigated Atiku. We couldn't trace all the money to him. It's true. But now we have the evidence. EFCC, do your job. If you don't arrest Atiku, I'm going to go to court. And the clown even said more. Listen to this one.
Call for the protection of the whistleblower. When President Muhammad Buhari came to office, one significant policy he adopted was that of whistleblowing. You are all witnesses to the fact that that policy has recorded tremendous success with the recovery of millions of dollars from various hidden sources. One was the famous Ikoyi apartment heist. These recoveries have been used by the Buhari administration to fund our budgets and build infrastructure we see springing up everywhere in the country today. We also recall that recently the Federal Executive Council approved a bill to be forwarded to the National Assembly for legal backing to the policy and legal protection for the whistleblower. I made tremendous contribution that day when that bill came to the Federal Executive Council for it to be forwarded to the National Assembly. And we have approved it, a bill to protect whistleblowers. In the light of the above, we call on all well-meaning Nigerians and the law enforcement agencies to protect the whistleblower, Mr. Michael Achimugu, who has blown this whistle on Atiku Abubakar. No harm must befall him or members of his family. We suspect that some goons of Atiku Abubakar are planning to eliminate him and members of his family. In fact, my big brother, FFK, actually hinted me about something like that yesterday. We shall hold Atiku Abubakar responsible if anything befalls this patriotic Nigerian or members of his family. We also encourage him to reveal to Nigerians or members, to reveal to Nigerians those earth-shaking revelations he is withholding for the sake of this nation and the future of our children. We know that he said he's not going to reveal so many things. This is just what's important for the campaign. But please, we're begging him, reveal all. Nigerians deserve to know who wants to occupy that office of president. Now, we made the point of conspiratorial silence. We said so far we are disillusioned, but we are not surprised at the conspiratorial silence of a section of the media over this grave issue of national importance. Even after seeing court processes in form of a sworn affidavit, we observe an embarrassing silence yet from a section of the media. We have consistently made our case against the unethical and partisan antics of some media houses, and this development vindicates us. When it was the case of the spurious and dead case of drug dealing leveled against our candidate, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, this media platform threw caution to the winds and zealously feasted on it. Of course, we gallantly came out. We didn't hide. We came out and vigorously disproved all the tissues of lies against our candidates. All of us here, we were on air. We did not hide. Now you can see all of them hiding. Since this allegation, they were hiding under the table. All of them. Hiding, all of them. They can't face the cameras. Because, why? Because they're even scared of what the young man is holding. Because the young man warned them that if you talk, earth-shaking revelation will begin to drop. So they ran away. Even the garrulous ones ran away. They should come out like us now. Come out and defend their principles. They don't know who they are campaigning for. They don't know. This person was actually closer to him than all of them. And that's what he told them. You saw pictures of him in Atiku's bedroom in Dubai. You saw pictures of him everywhere with Atiku. They don't even know that they are not closer to him than him. So, but now the press has gone strangely quiet. Well, whether they keep quiet or not, it's our firm belief that the judiciary is the last hope of the hopeless. In this case, the judiciary will not be quiet, as we shall clearly take steps in the next few days to initiate a judicial process seeking the outright disqualification. Go and look at the code of conduct for public officers. It is there. It happened to Nixon too. If you've forgotten, Nixon in the United States, unethical practice as president, this as candidate. Our code of conduct says once you breach the code of conduct, use companies and people to take you are banned from public office. So I don't know whether the PCC will approve court actions there, but me, knowing me and my trajectory for the last 30 years in this country, I have fought principalities using the instrumentality of the law. I've gone to prison for it. They have charged me to court. I have written a letter this morning, apart from this, to the law enforcement agencies. The PCC, they don't approve me. If Asiwaju say I should stop campaigning for him because of this, I'll stop. This is national interest. If you say drop from cabinet because of this, I will drop. This is national interest. I am going to court myself. Apart from the PCC decision on this, I have written to them, and the letters are there. Show distribute to all of them. 3 law enforcement, they are giving them an ultimatum. I will proceed to court to ask for disqualification of Atiku Abubakar. He is not fit to run for the highest office of the land. He is clearly ethically challenged, morally damaged for the highest office of the land. He can't survive this. He can't. We call on the fourth estate of the Rim to resist the temptation of partisan recruitment at this moment. You know partisan recruitment. They will go around with envelope now. Gentlemen, it is your treasury we are talking about. This is damaging. It is the nation we are talking about, not brown envelope. It's beyond brown envelope. This is highest criminality that they practice at the highest office, highest level at that time. So please, we call for you to resist the temptation of partisan recruitment at this moment. Rise to a patriotic call this defining hour and save the nation from this.
You hear him? If the PCC is Tinubu's presidential campaign council, which he happened to be the, what do you call it? He happened to be the spokesperson for. Nigeria. I mean, there's no point in saying pray for us. So, to pity yourself is a waste of pity. But look at your lives. These are those who are going to decide your future. Oh, I'm saying that obedient. They say, God forbid, God forbid, God will forbid, God will forbid. Abasha, calm down. Here you get. Let these legacy criminal parties, let them tear themselves. Now, you might think that Keyamo is bluffing and blabbing. They've responded, though. But if you think he's morally bankrupt, it's not the kind of, you know what I mean? Like, the people that they mentioned, Joshua Dariye, has been forgiven. PDP arrested him, took him to court. The APC, Egbekegbe, came in, Bokowari, and he pardoned him. Yeah, he converted his imprisonment, converted it into, what's it they call him? Apology, or forgiveness. So Joshua Dariye is now member of APC, Egbekegbe. So what Festus Otobo Keyamo is there saying is that Obasanjo, Crown Fit said, Obasanjo, June 15, 2023, breaking news. Obasanjo voluntarily surrendered himself to EFCC over Atiku gates. I want to see future on today. Time travel, Crown Fit. I saw your message. I mean, I saw your comments, and it really cracked me up. The clowns are mortgaging and dancing over the future, and they are just promising you that future. Thieves, criminals, and some of you are ready to fight, and whatever it takes. Abi, I mean, I mean, we saw what happened in Ilorin today. Yeah, I was in Ilorin today. But have you heard about the side of for Food Kayode on this issue? For national reason, for national security, because of the sake of national this and that, you must stop Atiku and Femi Foni Kayode for Food Kayode for the sake of national unity, national this and that. Okay, oh yeah, FFK. Kini worry sorrow to one lay. I mean, if you have to say, our PCC, all of us in PCC, we are scared for the future of Nigeria. Atiku is going to kill everybody and this and that. And we love you. We care about you. And we don't think you are going to survive Atiku. And the person who is preaching this One of them is for Food Kayode, to inspire you. And it's wrong.
As Vice President of Nigeria, thank you and God bless your time.
And I ask myself, why is it that some people can do these things with such impunity and nothing happens to them, whilst others would have done nothing at all and everything bad happens to them? This is not the kind of society we want or that we worked for. And I want to say clearly and categorically, and this is, whichever side of the political divide you are on, from that audio tape alone, it is clear that Atiku Abubakar is a criminal. A criminal that should not only be arrested, he should also be jailed. He has brought disgrace and infamy on everything that the Obasanjo government achieved. He has crumbled it. He has made it clear that so many horrendous things were going on behind the scenes. And this is unacceptable to me and to all the other people, both in PDP today and in APC today, that were in any way linked to that administration. So for me, there's a great outrage about this sort of thing. Secondly, I want to make this point, if I may. And I want us to take this very seriously. The safety of the whistleblower is at stake. This is a very serious issue. And I join Festus Keyamo and others, Dile and everybody else on this side of the divide to say, look, nothing must happen to this man. I am aware that one or two individuals that are very close to Atiku Abubakar have gone as far as to suggest that they want to take his life. They're keeping quiet publicly, but behind the scenes, they are shaking like chicken because they know that this is their end. If it had been anybody else in this room, or if it had been our candidate, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, whose voice you heard on that audio, by now, you know what would have happened. Let's face it, let's be honest. Every newspaper in this country, it would have been headline. It would have been on every television station in this country. We would have been lambasted, insulted, and they would have called for his arrest. But there was silence here. Everybody was pretending, everybody was ignoring it. Why? Because it's Atiku. Now I say this finally, that those that believe within Atiku's camp, and again, there's an identifiable person, I don't want to mention his name yet, but I will when the time comes, a businessman that believe that they have all the security agencies in their pockets because they boasted this, that nothing can happen because we have all the security agents in our pockets. Let it be that this is a case that will prove him and them wrong. He's not above the law. I call for his investigation, his invitation, and his prosecution, because others have been prosecuted for doing far less. This is what you call direct evidence. It's not a question of hearsay. Direct evidence. And if he has a defense, let him come and provide the defense. But if nothing happens, and if under this government, a man can come out and get away with saying that this is how we stole money, we used SPV, we did this, naming names, naming companies, naming that, naming amounts of money, and he gets away with it, what will the world say about Nigeria? Can this type of man ever be trusted with power in this country? In my view, and in the view of all of us here, the answer to that question is no. He's not fit to be president. He's not fit to run as president. And the people around him are even worse criminals than he is. And we have absolutely no fear. And like Festus has said, if what we are saying here will cost us anything, because, this is a very emotional moment for me and for many of us. No matter what it costs us for saying these things against them, it's not just about the campaign anymore. It's about the integrity of our country. And
APC is a grand fraud. Expert liars. They are first-class propagandists. They thrive on propaganda. They have spent so much money on media to cover them up. APC is a grand fraud.
Don't ever forget that too. Femi Kayode is now talking about the Nigeria. It's emotional for us. The only thing he didn't do is to start crying. How can you let Atiku do this to us? How can you not, this Atiku, for the sake of this country, I don't care what it's going to cost me. We need to protect the life of this whistleblower, Baba. Show ti beresini catch feeling. I be one not catch feelings. I know, Shemi. I just hope that you will be able to heal in time. The comedy continues. But this time around, it's not press conference. Dino had to come and say, when the first guy spoke, Dino said that guy was a was a fraudster. He's a Yahoo. Secret to Shiwo. But ignore that boy, Joe. That one is just looking for money. Let's talk about good thing. Now they don't turn him into a legal fighter, be anything now to make it look more dramatic. But with Dino, his own answer is that, hey. If APC is saying that we are controlling security in Nigeria, maybe they are scared. They are afraid. Because as it be so, David Undenyi expose on the Kolu Escobar, that is Bola Ahmed Tinubu. That should be your concern. Making an Escobar your president. And then making Osama when I heard that Osama bin Laden, I said, Nigeria, see, obedient. You see those ones, they brag differently. And I've told you several times, right? You don't need to like them, you don't need to agree with them and all of that. It doesn't really matter. But when you are talking about the karma that is so good for this time, for this our time, this time that we are alive, that karma in the political space of Nigeria are the obedient. They brag differently. The man said, if you see anywhere I stole 1 naira of Anambra money, I will stop running. Nobody came out and said, okay, yeah, here is the evidence. We saw this money inside your wife's account, inside your daughter's account. Your friend collected social money, contra, I know, do them. And it's been like that for months now. They never bring anything out. So when you see obedient bragging, now some of them are in the comment section and saying, you see, APC, PDP finish. Shall calm down. Are you with me? Shall calm down. Enjoy your bragging right, by the way. You hand it, okay? These guys are a bunch of criminals, right? And I bet you, they said Obi didn't pay tax in Nigeria. He kept his money, his earnings in safe havens, okay? Right? And which is a criminal offense, by the way. But you know what the obedient are using to brag? They said the only crime will be committed is because he is smart enough not to keep his own hard-earned money that he made outside Nigeria by paying that tax to the thieves who are going to collect the tax, steal the money, and take it outside Nigeria again. Like I said, it is criminal. But when you meet obedient, they will say, that's a preferred criminality, Jarema Yegun. He didn't steal the money from anybody. But it is still a crime. So they brag differently. Don't ever forget that. But when it comes to people destroying people, APC, all promises cancelled. Al-Qaeda People's Congress, Akpahanyo People's Congress, APC, their own level of bragging is about their criminality and their superiority in crime. After everything where you don't listen to, you will think Dino, the court jester to Atiku, will come out with something more reasonable. Koba Jeffrey reasonable, Taloni reasonable. They say our man na SPV merchant criminal coming from the mouth of other criminals. Eja Afogugbe Loju, Escobar ti Osama bin Laden. Is that what you want? No be me Tokamo. From Dino. The credit to this video goes to the channel's television. Thank you.
Seconds to wrap up this conversation with you. And my question, Senator, is that should Nigerians ask that your candidates come to equity and subject themselves to interrogation or investigation in this respect? based on Michael Achimogu's allegations? Because if they are frivolous allegations, there are ways to prove and dispel them. Yeah, under our laws. Now, would your principal be willing and ready to subject himself to the process of law to clear his name and to show Nigerians that he has a clean hands from all of these allegations that is raised?
I'm surprised you're asking this question because Atiku Abubakar is a Democrat, he's a Nigerian. He has always been available for investigations. He has been investigated time and time again, and he has come out very clean, with clean status after investigation. So you do not even need the permission of Atiku Abubakar to investigate him. You understand? So we are not afraid of investigation because he's the most investigated Nigerians, and if you investigate him time and time again, he will come out clean. The man that is supposed to be arrested and prosecuted is the one that has been indicted already of being a drug baron, and there's a certified court indictment that money was confiscated, money was taken away from him to the tune of 340,400,000 naira, to the tune of $460,000. That is already an indictment. He's the man that has first code of conduct before. He's the man who bled Lagos to nothing. He's the man who is using Alpha Beta to destroy the economy of the poor citizens of Lagos State. He's the man who has taken over all the properties of government in Lagos State. Even TVC used to be the property of Lagos State. His house in Abuja used to be the property of Lagos State. His house in Bodilon used to be the property of Lagos State. That is the man that should be indicted. The man whose wife is supplying the diesel to all government offices in Lagos. The man whose son is in charge of the signages in Lagos.
Senator,
that is the man that should be prosecuted. That is the man.
Senator, we need to go. We are totally out of time. Thank you so much. Senator, do you...
70 years old man.
You. Jesus is Lord. Jesus.
70 years old man.
You. Jesus is Lord. Jesus.
Carry me they go. Daddy, carry me they go. My husband house. They are all going to ask old rock. It is true. Kolu was indicted in heroin trade in America. That is true. Kolu is Escobar. And everything Dino said about Kolu, they are all true. And that is where I derived that's my own description of all of your leaders, all of them as criminals, my guy.
What's going on, Christian? What's going on, Christian?
Fatinio. So now that they are all throwing the shades, it is ideal for all of you to understand. And when you take sides, just so that you are siding with your own criminal, don't give me any kind of excuse or what have you. I have been so used to that. Now you can't give me any excuse in defending any of your criminals. And your choice, own it, and brag about it. Like the people of Ilorin today. We're talking about, they've been mentioning Obasanjo here and there. He himself has something to say in this whole thing. Before I take you to Ilorin, are you interested in going to Ilorin? What happened in Ilorin today? Where the issue of shop I shop came up again. Now Tinubu's turn to shop. Lalong told the people in Ilorin today. Again, if you like, believe them. If you like, don't. When they drop all this line, they are just a little bit into what you're about to face. Bokwari, you go praise Bokwari when he's gone. Obasanjo, tell us, so he had the voice recently, and the credit to this clip, I don't know the owner, but if you are watching me, this is for educational purpose, and then it's so useful. And Obasanjo is Nigeria property. I'm sorry. So yeah, listen to him.
Recently, a pastor was preaching. I think he was not really preaching, he was talking. And he said to his congregation, I know most of you must have made up your mind who you will vote for. And he said, look, those of you who have made up your mind who you will vote for, I don't want to know who you will vote for, but put up your hands. Almost the whole congregation, including himself, put up his hand. I found it interesting. And he said he wanted to make a prayer. And as I pray, put up your hand, continue to raise your hand, that your children may have the character, the attitude, the attribute, the reputation, the life of the one you have chosen to vote for. Well, hands started coming down. and I said to myself, so here are people who are ready to vote for somebody they don't want their children to be like. Now, what do you say of such people? Wicked to extreme, as far as I'm concerned. Unpatriotic.
Thank you very much, sir. I saw that video too, and it was very, very inspiring, very, very challenging, and it brought the point home.
I will go back. I will go back to that video that you said you saw. And I will say that if the person you want to vote for, or you have originally decided to vote for, is not the person that you will want your child to be like, then change your mind.
As we all know, Obasanjo is supporting P2B. He endorsed P2B as next president of Nigeria. And he's not backing down on that. He's not smiling on that. He's not ashamed of himself for doing.
Well, as OBJ, as usual, he's already made his own decision. And then today, if anybody tells you about their election and their charade, that they haven't made up their mind, they are lying to you. Seriously, this whole thing, don't they? Even inside church, listen to this one. No, they don't cost themselves.
Or your father's company, who will you put there? Who will you put there? If you know out of your true conviction, that person, go and vote for that person. Vote the person that you want, the type of character, and want the person to come on your own children. Anybody that violates the law of conscience, the law of integrity for the kingdom of God, to go bring another child of the devil in charge, the curse will follow you and your own children. And I'm not just talking to those who are present here. I'm talking to the whole country, the whole nation, the whole Christian body, and to every reasonable Nigerian. Everybody. God has given us this beautiful country. This place is better than Britain. It's better than Germany. It's better than Ukraine. This is a blessed country. Let's now wake up and put the right person in office. For once, let the Nigerian church unite around God's purpose. Ask yourself, if Jesus were to be here, who will he tell me to vote? Ask yourself, Kant said, character, competence, and capacity. Who, in my best, when I ask my conscience, you know how they say, the Spirit of God bears witness with your spirit that you are a child of God. You know who, vote that person. The third one is, anybody I want his character to follow my own children. Because it's the future of these children and the generation after that is at stake now. For once, Everywhere, meaning Nigeria, wake up. I don't care what party you belong to. For once, let the Christians wake up. For once, let the Muslims wake up. This country belongs to us. Let's wake up and do the right thing.
Live story. Nobody they sleep. Everybody say, you see, sorry, apologies to Lady Abby, our own Lady Abby here. When she speaks, she'll be like, Yorubas, wake up. Our people should wake up. Yorubas needs to wake up. That's a very, very passionate, popular line. But mommy, if you think these people are sleeping, they are not. Oh. They are full-time enablers. They know their oppressors, and their oppressors know them. That's why when people feel like sometimes on here and they say, Mayegun, don't talk like that. You know, you need to think about your friends that are going to be. I say, calm down. I know my people know me. Say, I see the moon see me. God bless the moon, God bless me. I know in the temple of truth, I know my people know me. God bless my people, God bless me. If I say anything that offends you because I'm saying something about people, you are not my friend. Are you with me? You can only wake people where they sleep up. You don't wake people where they pretend say that they sleep. Nigerians are not sleeping. Okay, fine. Information may not be so much. They may not have access to the right information in time. Okay, fine. I agree. But don't pretend that they are sleeping. Wake up. Wake up. They are not sleeping. Now you they pretend say that they sleep, so as if to say that you say them blind. They say you cannot make the right decision when you are hungry. I've told you a story about an advert. It's called the Snickers. See, there's a chocolate bar here in the UK, and I believe all over the world for those who have seen them. They are called Snickers. Snickers, with nuts and chocolate mixed together, and caramel and all that, yeah? Their advert is about hunger. And even when I listen to that, instead of me to get attracted to that chocolate, I'm actually attracted to it anyway, yeah? I love Snickers, but now I don't eat much of them anymore anyway, yeah? But there is a popular line in that Snickers. They say, you are not you when you are hungry. Bite a Snickers. Chop Snicker. We can talk when hunger no dey the picture anymore. 133 million Nigerians are living in unbelievable poverty. 133 million. Do you think it's 133 people? Million, no. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5. Wala. Oh, leka. Oh, bieda. Oh, leka 2 million. 1 to 2 million. For 24 hours. Oh, my re. Oh, bieda. You go tire. I don't care how you think say you be. Oh, yeah, sit down there. I'll give you 100,000 naira. If you feel read 1 to 10 million and you no sleep. Can't count 1 to 133 million. We're joking. They are not sleeping. They have been saddled with the spirit of survivor. And that is why they are like, oh, Benny, make a show first. That's the way they talk. It makes sense. In fact, I believe everything you are saying, but I never shop. Everything where you said, I don't even remember anything where you are saying. But I've been talking for about 2 hours now. Baba, yeah, I know. I was just here following you, but my mind no day here. Why? Baba, hungry. You are not you when you are hungry. So don't pretend that they are sleeping. They are not sleeping. Yorubas are not sleeping. The Igbos are not sleeping. Nigerians are not sleeping. But they can pretend to be. In fact, pretend not to know anything. They do know a lot. Because when you talk about them, so you're opening their hand and say, pay me. Oh. If you don't pay me, I know they come out for a year. I know they, you know what I mean? That's transactional. This is something that I mean, let's be honest. I'm just saying, let's be honest, okay? I don't like people. I mean, I don't like us giving excuses for something we know that is so obvious, right? And at the same time, when we give excuses, right? Then on the other hand, we are expecting things to look different or to get better. No, they don't. You have to tell yourselves the truth. The criminals who are dealing with Nigerians, they are doing so because there are enablers. Shemika, take you to Ilorin. Don't doubt me. Into Ilorin, meet this man. is the number one supporter of Bokwari. All of you will blame Bokwari for this and that for 7 years, because of everything. This man is number one supporter of Bokwari, and there are many. And that reminds me. As you go to bed tonight, no matter how smart you are, no matter how educated you are, no matter how intelligent you think you are, see, Baba, no matter how much exposure you think you have in your life, if you don't fear foolish people in large numbers, Baba, smart. Imagine this kind of person. 13 million of this kind of person. Young, old, woman, man, and all of them, children, and all of them. 13 million in Nigeria. You can't tell me say you get chance. You don't get hope. You don't get chance. With this mindset.
The removal of CGN, whether he's there or he's not there, Nigeria will still remain Nigeria. I've been to the S-Travels. I've seen 1, 2, I've seen 2, I've seen 3. What Buhari did for this country, no human being will ever did it. Buhari is the true light of this country that we have never discovered such person. How I wish we can get another 5 Buharis in this country. 1 in the north, 1 in the south, 1 in the west, everywhere. Let's have Buharis. If Buhari will go, let's have more Buharis. Somebody will be here on the newspapers and be abusing somebody's parent because you open your mouth so wide. Where were you when Buhari was fighting to unite this country, idiot? If care is not changed, my brother, Buhari will remain 4 years and will remain forever in throne. Well, useless, man. If you say Buhari is useless, your father is useless. I'm telling you this. Whether you like, Buhari will still remain there, and he will remain there, and he will remain there. When anybody get on, say Buhari. If you cannot pregnant your wife, it's Buhari. If you are going to toilet, you can't.
Share you get. You can't discuss economy with this kind of people. You can't discuss security with them. You can't discuss youth unemployment with them. Because according to them, must you blame Buhari? Is it Buhari that will give you work? Now imagine that kind of man, that kind of person, right? Just imagine, close your eyes, and imagine that when you open the eyes, you are seeing 13 million of that kind of person. You know go wrong. You know go give up. I want to save Nigeria. I want to save, you know go give up. That's how I see all the Lagos Abobakus, the Oshogbo Alimanjiris, the crumb eaters, the ass lickers, the crumb chasers, the Buhari Danes, Buhari Diderins, the Buhari Dinotus, Buhari Dijatus, the Buhari Shukus, the Ungos Diaris, the Une Kaharis, the obedient fools, sophisticated morons, humbled slaves, social media bandits, Facebook adsmen, the Abrodian Buhari idiots, the Mumu Madus, the Bele lecturers, the Mumu lecturers. When I see all of them, when I close my eyes, when I see one, I just imagine them in millions. Baba, we no get chance if we remain divided, trying to save Nigeria. Millions of this character, they will always make you and your efforts unnoticed. How do you want to fight it?
The removal of CGN, whether he's there or he's not there, Nigeria will still remain Nigeria. I've been to the S-Travels. I've seen 1, 2, I've seen 2, I've seen 3. What Buhari did for this country, no human being will ever did it. Buhari
is right. He is right. Bokwari is the first person, the first terrorist to overthrow a democratically elected government in Nigeria. Give that to him. Bokwari is the first person in Nigeria history to supervise a country that its power structure collapsed, national power grid collapsed 14 times. Give that to him. On record, Bokwari and APC, Egbekegbe, they are the first in the history of Nigeria to lead Nigeria to the highest BC in Nigeria history, 77 trillion naira. Also, in your lifetime. History have been made, in your lifetime. Bokwari and APC, Egbekegbe, they are the first in your history to take Nigeria, the population of 200 million. And when you look around, 80% of them are jobless and they are living in never seen before, no record, never seen before poverty. No human being has done that to Nigeria. Also, in our lifetime, no human being in history of Nigeria has watched Nigerians being slaughtered, like say they no be anything, on daily basis, being kidnapped. I mean, in my lifetime, I am witnessing Nigerians being sold as slaves in jihadist market. In my lifetime. And at the same time, we are celebrating repentant terrorists. And guess what? In my lifetime, Operation Safe Corridor has given liberty to terrorists that are over 160,000 terrorists and their families. No human being has done that to Nigeria. And today, the same APC, Egbekegbe, from their own insensitivity. Yeah, insensitivity, say our insensitivity. I be whatever. They no care. Now slave camp. That's what Nigeria has become for, to them. The same people are pushing Mumu button, Muslim button, ticket, 419 ticket that is just one-way ticket to the implosion of Nigeria. So listen, they don't give a damn. So if you stand on their way, they will, I don't know what will happen. They may take you. Pastor Ruga that used to be their star boy. Pastor Ruga, call on for no. Pastor Ruga Atiku, but Pastor Ruga himself is just counting days for the time they go open the gate of a ass old rock and they will let him just go free and stop cleaning the ass of a demented Bokwari. Unfortunately, Pastor Ruga was told that you are a star boy, you are a professor of law. Oh dear, this is going to be a star-studded, government. Oh my God, Nigeria is going to be so lucky. But guess what? Nigeria became the poverty capital of the world in 7 years under these criminals. Yeah. So what else haven't they done? Then Pastor Ruga wanted to be president. Oh dear, poor Pastor Ruga. He couldn't manage the country. They said he's in charge of economy. Pastor Ruga, come here, star boy. What is your policy to improve economy and lift 10 million Nigerians out of poverty? Oh, great. I thought you were never going to ask. I have a brilliant idea. What was it? Let's give 10 million Nigerians 10,000 naira and lift them out of poverty. Wow, you are so... you are a genius. 10,000 naira trader money, market money, and every other bara money to lift 10 million Nigerians out of poverty by the end of the whole access, and billions of naira lost and stolen, not lost, stolen, right? Rather than pull 10 million out of poverty. But I want to see everybody say poverty ni. Between 2015 and 2022, Baba, everybody can they do like say, your poverty no reach my own. Your poverty even better than my own. You know, Nigerians are very funny. Very, very funny creatures, right? If you think you are suffering, going through hell right now in Nigeria, when they say, I'm on this country bad, Baba, this country tough, tell me about it. Baba, can you believe that I hardly eat twice a day? I understand. Calm down. Just tell me more. Tell me about it. Baba, would you believe that? Calm down. But instead of you to now have a conversation around it, you just from nowhere, somebody say, Baba, your own better. If I tell you about my own sufferness, you go to thank God for your own. And I will say, calm down, Jare. Who told you are suffering? Look at me. Me and sufferness in this country. A company say we sign an agreement, like contract. Say, you go there with me for 10 years and we renew the contract. Because they turn this into competition. That's what APC, Egbekegbe have done. And this is what they are riding on as well. Pastor Ruga saying won't be president. Baba, you the mentor ni. Then Tiaram. Right before our eyes, the same people that are asking for respect, they said Pastor Ruga was a betrayer. They didn't say that on social media only, but they printed posters for Pastor Ruga. They say Pastor Ruga is a betrayer. You are contesting against your leader. Ashiwaju that made you. Blah, 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 blah. The guy entered depression. Ironubade. From there, they say, this guy no go dey qualified to go about and do campaign for you. As a B, the guy no dey mentally okay. He go dey as old rock. But Bokwari will try and attend sometime. Bokwari can't go stay back. Can't they watch the whole campaign? Say, okay, let's see what they have to do. But everywhere Kalu goes, he continued to, everything he had to say is to tell you how rotten and destroyed Nigeria has become under APC. And so, Bokwari just stay away, say, Oloshilele. You know they go anywhere now, you won't spoil business and all of that. It'd be like, say, you just be at a campaign rally, and your candidate is talking. Everything he's talking about that he's going to do for Nigerians is because he's telling them he's going to recover the damages you have done, and you are going to be standing there. No. Bokwari stayed away. But that's not what happened in Kwara, in Ilorin. That's what happened in Ilorin today. Because they said Bokwari is going to somewhere in Escavos, Davos, in Koni, Switzerland. After promising them it was going to be in Ilorin with Kolu today. They can't avoid them. You said no go avoid Kolu. Have you actually followed this campaign? When there was if Bokwari did here, Kolu will not be able to say anything. It will start shouting, Buhari! Buhari! Say it again! And so the guy ran away because that's how he became deaf and dumb in 2016. When they said that somehow they thought Bokwari would die, quick, and Pastor Ruga would be president. But that didn't happen. And they said from the mountain in Ekiti, some people will wake up every morning, somewhere in Benue Mountain, Kogi Hills, and they will be shouting, Buhari o, Buhari o. Before you know it, Buhari just deaf. You remember that time that they rushed him to London because he became deaf, dumb. You know they hear. You remember that time? Don't worry, I just thought I should remind you. So Bokwari stayed away after attending 2 rallies with Kolu, and Kolu started shouting, Buhari! Buhari! Say it again, Buhari! The guy ran away. And he told us, I won't be coming to Ilorin. I'll send Pastor Ruga. Maybe they said, Pastor Ruga, you remember your depression? You better don't go to Ilorin. If you come back, can't get depressed more. If you think I'm joking, the last time Kolu and Pastor Ruga actually met in public place was at Akeredolu's mother's burial in Akure or what, I don't know. Bosha in Odo State. You remember? And when they met, Pastor Ruga was giving protocol. All protocol daily observe. All this one, Your Excellency, your that. It was when he was about 5 minutes gone into his speech that he told him, Kolu is here now. You didn't see your guy there. Then Pastor Ruga was like, oh, sorry. I just made one heavy mistake. No, it wasn't a mistake. They made the guy depressed. You have no idea. They depressed Pastor Ruga. Pastor Ruga, can't they do? I wanted to feel sorry for him, but I don't get any emotion left to share for any politicians that have destroyed Nigeria. Anyway, cut the long story short, Pastor Ruga didn't show up in Ilorin today. He stayed away, even though he was meant to be there to represent Bokwari. He stayed away for the sake of his mental health. Now, I'm going to take you to Ilorin, okay? So whatever you feel like. Pastor Ruga, I actually missed him. Oh, the motivational speaker. Ruga.
He don't pass. Last. Everybody go shop breakfast.
They're already cooking the breakfast. And Nigerians are already queuing behind there to get served. Minus me. Anyway, let's go to Ilorin. Where Kolu today, as usual, give us some laugh, some content. But there are other things that they dropped off in that conversation I want you to pay attention to. Ilorin, ladies and gentlemen, and the drama began. the side, for the side attraction, this time around, it was K1 that was on stage. Oh yeah, K1, gbé fún kó lighting mood àwọn èèyàn mi ó ti pẹ́ wọ́n ti jókòó ti pẹ́ nsìn, right? Listen to this before we go to Kolu's dramatics.
Torí aṣíwájú ṣètìmá. Ìpá ẹ̀ bá wá pọ̀. Àwọn polówó. Ìdí pàtàkì. Tó fi yẹ káàrí tán. Lọ́kọ́ làwọn lọ sá. Ìpá àgbẹ̀lẹ̀ kejì kò máa bá ṣe lọ.
And that's it for that moment. They can forget all about their worries. Baba, she 2000 a joke to you, ni. Somebody is saying that these people didn't know that Nigeria owes 77 trillion naira. Omo, koko fi 77 trillion le no. And I say hunger day as it be, and it has been weaponized. So here you are, free of charge, K1 the ultimate on stand.